or Latinos. And did we mention Latinos?
It's Latísima.
Latinos come in all flavors, shapes, and sizes. You don't have to be Latino to enjoy chips and salsa.
Everybody loves chips and salsa.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Chips and Salsa. Today, I'm Cheryl Rosado, and today I have Nicole Mercado with me co-hosting, and we are so excited to bring to you the Kari Lake. Kari is running for U.S. Senate, in case you happen to not know that, and we're just very excited to have her here on the show to chat with us just quick.
Hi, guys. How are you? It's good to be on with you.
It's good to be on you. I'm very excited to have you on the show. I saw you at the Trump Town Hall, and it was very exciting to see you, and everyone always so excited to see you. And of course, President Trump always has just wonderfully kind words for you. So.
Well, the feeling is mutual. It's good to see you. It's always great to see President Trump. And, you know, this country is ready to bring President Trump back, especially Arizona. This is a state that loves President Trump, that loved his policies. And I think we're suffering more than most states because we're right here on the border and we're feeling the effects of all these people pouring in and keeping our taking jobs and keeping our wages depressed and competing with us for housing and forcing rent prices up and all kinds of issues. And the economy is really hurting a lot of families as well. So I think that's why people are always excited to see him. We're ready to vote and get him back into office and turn things around.
Right. President Trump he just excites the base like no one that I have seen in my lifetime to get people just who've never been involved with politics before. He gets them excited to be involved. And I think that you do that for Arizona a lot. You get people excited in that exact same way.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. And if I can motivate even one person to get out and get active, then I feel like I've made an impact. But I'm gonna just be honest. This movement we had when I ran for governor was really big. It was probably the biggest movement we've seen statewide in all of my time here. And I will tell you this, Nicole and Cheryl, it's bigger now. I know the media, the fake news media wants to act like, oh, no one's interested anymore. Everyone's turning away. No. Everywhere we go, massive crowds. People will join for a meet and greet and they'll be spilled out into the parking lot. I did an event in Goodyear, which is one of our fastest growing suburbs of the Phoenix metro area. And they told me to expect 250 people. We had 760 people there.
Wow.
And this was on a Tuesday night.
That's amazing.
And I'm telling you this not to be boastful, because it's not about me. It's not about me at all. It's about our country and our state and our children's future. And everyone, after what we saw in 2020 and again in 22, is saying, okay, I have to not only just vote, I have to get involved. And that means getting behind a candidate, getting involved, knocking doors, talking to our neighbors, even talking to our friends who maybe haven't been part of the America First MAGA movement, talking to our friends who are independents or friends, even family members who might be Democrat, but we know they're struggling with the economy and with the way things are going. It's time for all of us to start speaking out and bringing people over to this great movement, which is about putting our country first and making sure we can save the freedoms and liberties that we have here in this blessed nation.
Right. And I think that it's obvious to many, many people that you should be the governor right now. But we had different things that happened in Maricopa County and across Arizona. And I know that just yesterday we became aware that there was a theft in the elections department with a stolen key fob. And I know that they didn't let the AZ GOP chair know in a timely manner about that. And so does that make you feel like they're still working on hijinks over there, or?
Well, I don't have a lot of faith in our elections department. Many people in this country don't have faith in them, and many people in the state don't, because they've never really taken accountability for how they ran the elections in 2020 and 22. They've trampled on our sacred vote. They ran election day like a banana republic, and then Maricopa County prosecutors blamed it on the voters rather than the people running our elections. And now this, and, I wish I had more trust and faith in that elections department, but I just simply don't. They've done nothing to earn our trust, and they can try to, put out press releases and do press conferences and gaslight the public as much as they want. But until they start running honest elections, I think it's going to be difficult. So I want to see more information come out. I know more information is coming out about the alleged perpetrator in this. And it looks like, he has potentially ties to not only the Democrat Party, but to some Soros-linked operations and organizations. These are some of the reports that I've seen so far. So I am deeply concerned. I continue to fight and I continue to push to have honest elections, and I'm not afraid to take on those fights, even if it means the media is going to call me names. Look, guys, at the end of the day, at the end of my life, I'm not going to lose any sleep over the media calling me names. What I want to know is that I made our country a better place, a safer place, and we have to have honest elections in order to do that. That's what this country's built on: honest elections where our sacred vote counts. So we'll see what happens. This is still pretty early in the process. Let's see what happens.
Right. And exactly. And I think that, again, in the same way that people feel that President Trump is our champion, our fighter, he's for us. I know that a lot of people feel like that about you, Kari, that you are not afraid to take on the fight, whether it is publicly and just speaking about something, or legally and hiring an attorney and trying to fight back. That's what people want to see. They're tired of just this leftist media and leftist wing that just treats us and tramples on us any way that they wish. And we don't want that. We, the people, have had enough.
And I think people need to start, emailing and calling the local media and be very polite about it. We're not, we don't need to be incendiary. We need to be polite and say, you are not doing your job as journalists. Why aren't you asking the right questions? Why aren't you asking questions to get to the bottom of these issues? And turn the media off, for goodness sakes. They're worthless. They've been brainwashing the public for so many years, and they've been lying about President Trump for so many years, and they lie about everything. So this is why I'm running for Senate. We need to bring about some change, and we need some real fighters in DC. I'm the only person running for U.S. Senate, whether I'm with an R or D behind the last name, that actually truly cares about getting to the bottom of election integrity or in election malfeasance, and is working hard to do so. Nobody else actually will even acknowledge we had fraud in our elections except for me. And that's why, Catherine Engelbrecht, who is the founder of True the Vote, endorsed me. She says I'm the only person running for U.S. Senate in Arizona that actually cares about getting to the bottom of the shenanigans in our election, and I've worked really hard for that. But I also care about the issues that are impacting Arizonans, and whether that be the border that's wide open and wanting to have secure border so that we know who's coming into our country and we don't have criminals coming in committing heinous acts of crime against women and children like we've seen in the past several weeks and months, whether it be the economy. Right now, we have an economy that's not working for us. Everything is more expensive. I just saw some polling. Hispanic Arizonans, number one issue for 41% of Hispanic Arizonans is this high inflation, cost of living. My family is Latino. My husband and children are Latino. And Latinos are, in my opinion, some of the most loving, hardworking, loyal, faithful people that I know. They work hard, and Latinos are working very hard right now. Some of them working 2 jobs, trying to put food on the table. And every day it gets harder and harder and harder. And I know a lot of people, whether they're just Latinos or Asian Arizonans or Black or white, are saying, how much harder can we work? How I'm holding 2 jobs down. Do I need to get a 3rd job? How are we going to make ends meet if it keeps going in this direction? That's why I want to get into Washington, D.C., bring back these pro-growth policies that are good for the economy. We'll want to bring back President Trump's economic plan and ditch Bidenomics because it's not working. We're going to bring down the cost of energy, go back to that pro-energy plan that President Trump had, where we were drilling for oil, where we were producing oil and gas and actually exporting it. We had so much. It brought down the price of gasoline, which brings down the price of everything as we truck things across this country. And we want to bring back companies in manufacturing, create a really good environment for you to start a business, bring down all these unnecessary regulations that President Trump was really good at doing, and Joe Biden has reversed all of that. These regulations are crippling businesses, making it hard to start a business, hurting ranchers and farmers. And we have to go in there and just slash those regulations and make sure they never rear their ugly heads again.
Yeah, I think that I appreciate that you brought that up, that the issues that you're hearing from people, because I know that you are more all around the state hearing from other people, and I know what issues are important to me and those that I love in my family. But it is important to know that other people also find these things important. It's not just us because of where we live or because of our background. I want to know what is important to other people, and I appreciate that you are asking people. You're out there trying to find from people what's important to them. And I know that, like you said, the inflation, it's out of control. It's so hard to have a household budget. Nicole and I are both stay-at-home mothers. We homeschool our children. Nicole has 5 and I have 4. And
Oh, wow.
the
Nicole,
policies that
good
Joe
for you
Biden and
guys.
Ruben Gallego have supported are crushing us.
That's true. And I'm glad you brought up my opponent, Ruben Gallego. He's trying to paint himself now with these ads as a cross between Mr. Rogers and G.I. Joe. And he's really Nancy Pelosi with a beard. He's a mini me Joe Biden. He has supported every single issue that Joe Biden has supported. And if you think of everything Joe Biden's done that's gotten us into this problem that we're facing right now, Ruben Gallego has supported that 100% of the time. He supports Joe Biden. He supports the open border. He calls the border wall dumb and stupid. He says that everybody pouring across right now should get asylum and voting rights. He's absolutely supported sanctuary cities. He's supported defunding the police. I mean, these are things that are making our economy struggle. They're making our communities struggle and have caused this outrageous inflation. And Nicole, I think we were just talking before we started this interview. You've got 5 babies. You were pregnant the first time I met you with probably your youngest. And I hear that when you're raising kids right now, like the cost of baby food and the items we need to raise the little ones, those ones I was just looking at, I had some notes here. Those ones have shot up. I think it was like 35%. How are you managing in this economy?
Well, my husband and I were actually blessed enough to have our own business, so we do make a pretty decent living for our family. But our youngest is actually a foster child of ours who we've been taking care of for the last 6 months, and that kind of threw a wrench in our family, because before, as a stay-at-home mom, our babies were just like nursed and or breastfed, I should say, and so we really tried to do everything as economical as possible while I was able to. But the
Yeah.
new baby, formula fed, right? And
Yeah.
it's about $30 a can of formula, and he was a
Oh my
preemie.
gosh.
And so because he is a foster baby, we do get some assistance for that. But I can't even imagine, especially when there was that shortage of formula, remember, for families not too long ago.
Yes.
And people were scrambling to find how they could buy formula to feed their children. But yeah, I mean, I would say I really do feel for those families. Luckily, we're able to, provide for our family. But like Cheryl was saying, we homeschool our families. We have ESAs, and that has really helped a lot to open for more opportunities for our children to be able to do different activities and get
So we can be gymnastics moms.
we can be gymnastics moms, and they can get the education that is best for them.
Well, sometimes you have to almost do gymnastics to figure out how you're going to make your budget work. It's like
Yes.
pull a little bit over here and put it over here and try to make ends meet. And the ESA, which is if for people who are listening out of Arizona, is kind of also known as vouchers, although we call it ESA here, which is the tax money goes to the student, not to a school. And so moms and dads in Arizona get to pick what school that tax money that they pay into goes to, so that their kids can get the best education, whether it be homeschooling, a private school, a charter school, maybe even a public school if they've got one that they like. Now, let me just tell you about my opponent, Ruben Gallego. He's not for that at all. I'm for actually expanding that and not just taking our state tax dollars, but the federal tax dollars that you pay into for education to also follow your children, your students. And I know President Trump is for that. This is one of the reasons, I'm endorsed by President Trump. I believe in those America First policies. I believe in giving back the power to the families to decide what's best for their children. And we're going to do that when I get to the United States Senate. But we first have to make sure we get out and vote. And I know that we maybe don't have the confidence we want in our system, unfortunately, but we can't let that keep us from getting out and voting. We have a
Right.
primary coming up right now, right around the 4th of July. The ballots are going to be coming out because, we have election season here. And so we need people to take those ballots and make sure they mark fill in the circle for Kari Lake for US Senate. We're doing really, really well in the polls. We've got a 30-point lead, but there's no lead big enough sometimes with the way they run elections. So I need you to get out there and make sure, call 10 of your friends, 10 of your mom friends, 10 of your, family members, and say, get out and vote in the primary, get those ballots returned. And then on November 5th, we have to vote like our lives depend on it, and like our babies' lives depend on it, and their future depends on it, and vote for President Trump, and then vote for Kari Lake for US Senate. It's critical. I mean, everything's on the line right now. I'm in this fight. I've stayed in this fight, not because it's fun being attacked every day by the media and all of the lies that are out there. My family knows who I am, and I believe the good people of Arizona truly know who I am. They know I'm fighting for them. They've tried everything to stop me. They tried calling me names, running smear campaigns. They've tried bribing me to not get involved in politics. And I've told them no. And this is what makes me such a threat in Washington, D.C. to the swamp. They normally get people in there that they can control. They can control them with bribery or blackmail, or they run a nasty story on them, and then immediately they fold and stop speaking out and being the voice for the people. I'm already been tried in all of that. I've already been through all of those battles, and the people of Arizona know I'm not afraid of the media saying bad things about me and lies about me. They can't bribe me. They've already tried. I have no blackmail material. Trust me, if there was anything out there, they would have already put it out. And so I'm going to Washington, D.C. as a free agent, working for you two, your children, your extended family, your community, and the entirety of Arizona. It's about time we have somebody in DC who truly represents we the people.
Exactly. And you can catch Kari Thursday. You'll be at the debate watch party for President Trump's going to be debating President Joe Biden. And Kari is the guest speaker there at the forum that Turning Point is doing. So you can catch her there if you want to hear her speak in person. You can try texting. You can try and get involved with her campaign to support her. Go online. What's your website? Is it karilake.com?
KariLake.com, KARILAKE.com. And this Wednesday, tomorrow, I'm going to be down in Tucson. We have a headquarters there as well. And we are doing an event at the Outlaw Bar and Grill. Sometimes you feel like an outlaw in this world, don't you, when you're fighting back against the machine? And Tito Ortiz, the great UFC champ, is going to be joining us. We're doing an Ask Me Anything event, and we invite everybody. We want all Arizonans to come. You don't have to be just a Republican. We want independents there and Democrats there. Hey everyone, it's Kari Lake, and I'm so excited to announce that the People's Champ, Tito Ortiz, will be joining me for a town hall in Tucson this Wednesday. The event is called The Fight for Arizona, and we strongly encourage our Democrat and independent friends to come out and join us and ask any questions that come to your mind about what my plans are for when I enter the United States Senate. Join us at 6 p.m. at the Outlaw Bar and Grill at the corner of Flowing Wells Road and West Roger Road, or go to KariLake.com/fight for Arizona to RSVP for free. We can't wait to see you there. I want to share our common sense solutions to the problems we're facing. The media likes to call us extremists. There's nothing extreme about wanting safe streets, fully funded police departments so that the criminals are locked up and we can enjoy our parks and neighborhoods again. We want a secure border. We want to know who's coming into our country so that we know the people are vetted and safe. And we want to make sure that our jobs and our wages are not being depressed by people pouring into our country. We want a strong economy so our businesses can thrive and we can afford things once again. And frankly, we want world peace, not world war. So those are going to be just a few of the things I'm pushing for. I'm always going to keep in mind the families of this great state and the great individuals of Arizona who are so hardworking and love our freedoms and love our Constitution.
So if you like what you heard today, don't forget, Kari would love to have you come out and canvas for her and go door to door. There's always a need for volunteers. And I know Kari would love for you to be able to donate your time and talents that way. If you've got money you'd like to donate, I'm sure she wouldn't turn that down. I know Nicole and I have canvassed for Kari in the past, and we're very proud of all that you're accomplishing. And thank you for all that you do. Thank you for coming on the show today, Kari.
Thank you, Kari.
Thank you so much, Nicole and Cheryl and everybody watching. I'm really in this for us. I'm in this for us because we've got to turn this around. And the good news is, I know we can, and we will, and we'll do it quickly. And just remember, you know, I believe God put us here for this moment. I really do. As tough as things are, and I know as moms, we wake up sometimes in the middle of the night worrying about what's coming next, but we are strong enough for this moment. God put us here to help save our country, and it's going to be the moms that step up this time around and help save it. So thank you so much. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And Kari's right. God put us here, and he'll see us through to the end.
That's right.
Have a good night,
God bless
everyone.
you guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.